Hi, everyone. We're back in this wonderful museum in Xi'an, China. Let's listen to John, our guide.
This is the earliest jade. And actually, long time ago, the Chinese people, we knew how to make the jade. At the very beginning, the jade was only used at the sacrificial ceremonies, like those discs. They were used at the sacrificial ceremonies. So at that time, people, they put stuff on it when they sacrifice something to the god. And later on, the jade became the daily ornaments. Here you can see some ornaments, the necklace made of jade. You know, the good jade should be very hard. So in ancient China, some jade were used for production, like the jade eggs, something like that.
Well, Betty, I thought this museum was really wonderful. And, you know, you could spend an awful lot of time in here because there were so many of these dynasties that had displays here.
Well, they had a lot of, go ahead, I'm sorry. They have a lot of pots anyway, don't they, huh?
A lot of pots, right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those were for heating wine. As we talked about before, they like to have
hard to
wine.
Clean.
It was, pardon me?
Hard to clean.
Yeah, well, no, you just drank it all. That was the
so
whole
that
thing,
wasn't
yeah.
necessary, huh?
Anyway, this was really incredible. This museum, and as we said, there were so many of the displays from all these various dynasties that were there in China, and
it's really amazing how intricate the designs are. When
Yes.
that long ago, with not having any of the tools and the modern things that we have today, it's incredible.
I think it really was too. But some of these things are very humorous too, if you take a look at them. But let's listen to John again.
You know what this?
Grinding stone.
This is for the music. This is a stone drum. So in the middle, you can see it's hollow. At that time, they put animal skin on top. So they made the music from the stone drum. And also on the surface, you can see there's the writings on the surface. So after the ceremony, people they like to write down what happened in the ceremony and what's the purpose of the ceremony. So this is not only the antique, but also this is a history book. Tell us about the ceremonies in Qin dynasty. This is a very old writing.
I don't think I would like to have been a drummer in that band. I mean, you'd have to carry a great big stone drum
I'm
around.
with you, but you know, to me that one looked like a geode. It didn't look like it was carved out, but I don't suppose it was. It had to have been just.
You didn't
from
look on the underside.
No, I couldn't. Well, it would be the inside that would kind of be the
Right.
clue.
We're taking a look now at some of the photographs of the tombs, and of course we can see the mountains here. A lot of these tombs, of course, have not been excavated yet. And on our next show, we're actually going to visit the terracotta soldiers that we'll see there. But we have more to see here in this fascinating museum.
Pay attention to is the structure. The structure. You know, in 1974, when we first found the terracotta soldiers, all of them they were buried underground, and all of them they were broken. Why? That's because originally people they built a roof on top, just like this. So originally in Qin dynasty, it was open air like this, no dirt. But since they were buried underground for more than 2,000 years, the wooden roof collapsed, damaged all those soldiers. So this one in 1974, all of them they were broken when they were unraised. For a long time, we knew the location of the emperor's tomb. We know that's the emperor's tomb because it was recorded on the book, but no records but terracotta soldiers. So before 1974, we didn't know there is so many soldiers buried underneath. So the farmers, they just lived on the top of the terracotta soldiers. They farm on top. They didn't know that. So in 1974, 3 farmers, when they were digging well, for water, they found some broken pieces. So that's how we found terracotta soldiers. And the terracotta soldiers were built for this tomb. And his tomb has not been opened yet. But in 1979, we found this bronze carriage outside this emperor's tomb for emperor's another life. But this is a copy. Tomorrow, when we get to the museum of the terracotta soldiers, we are going to see the original bronze carriage for emperor's second life.
It's a remarkable carriage.
Yes.
It really is. It has a little compartment in the back end, and
But now these are all.
Well, I think the whole thing was remarkable, Betty. Don't you think so?
Oh, yeah.
I mean-
find it fascinating. Even though you see it before, it's so fascinating.
It is, and so it's great to see it again. Let's go back.
Sometimes we say the Great Wall was built, or the Great Wall was not built by people. It was built by the tears of the widows. Too many people died. And also, the emperor, he set the deadline for the laborers. If they could get there on time, all of them, they would be killed. So at the end of the Qing dynasty, there was a team of the labor on the way to the construction site for Great Wall. Because of heavy rain, they were delayed. So the head of the team, he thought, anyway, they were going to die. So he organized uprising. So many people followed him. So finally, after many years war against the Qing dynasty was overthrown, and the people, they set up the Han. And here you can see the coins, the gold. Actually, this big one, according to the archaeologists, is very similar to today's credit card. So at that time, when the rich people do shopping, they don't need to pay the coins like this. They just show the shop, show the stores the big gold like this. So that means I got enough money, I pay you later. So it's similar to today's credit card. The swan goose. And then the shade, the shade could be opened and closed easily, either to protect from the wind or to adjust the angles of the lightnings. So when it was lit up, the smoke would move from the neck, through the neck into the body. The body is hollow and filled with water. So the smoke would be dissolved in the water. So to make the sure purification of the air. So to control the pollution.
Oh, that was quite a little lamp. Now, also, of course, the Chinese were noted for making paper, and of course, there's a big process in doing that. But we just saw this drawing that was here. It gave us sort of a little explanation, a visual explanation, I guess I should say, on how paper was made in ancient times in China.
You know what it makes me think of? That when we were kids, we learning about ancient things and stuff, we would say, darn clever, these Chinese. And it is brought to mind here. Darn clever.
Well, it is. I mean, just look at some of the things that we saw, on today's show. But look at the humor, Betty. I think the humor in some of these carvings that we see are
some are grotesque, though, aren't they? Really grotesque. The facial expressions. Didn't you find that?
Yeah,
like
I guess
them
so.
humorous.
Maybe it's
I
going
guess
to
they're
ward
humorous.
off your evil neighbor, if you put that on your doorstep. I'm not sure.
Well, I know they all had a meaning.
Yeah.
Like the gargoyles that we see, too, all have some kind
On
of
the
a
old
meaning.
churches,
Yes,
yeah. Well, look at this guy here.
Oh, isn't
He'd
he
make a
cute?
good gargoyle,
Now,
wouldn't
that
he?
looks like a dinosaur body and not a triceratops, but
This shows how Buddhism came to China. We see the root right here, Betty, and these are some of the old carvings that we can see, too. You've got a little information
I have a
on that,
wonderful
right?
story about that, but we never have time to go delve into that. But it was really wonderful about this man that was sent off to find a foreign country that was supposed to have an alliance then with China.
Mm-hmm.
And he was captive for 10 years, and he went on for stayed 18 years. And he studied Buddhism while he was there. And so he came back and brought all the manuscripts for Buddhism with him. And that is how China then turned to Buddhism.
He was
Yes.
the one that brought...
He was the one. He was also the one that was responsible for the Silk
the Silk Road,
Road.
yeah.
Because when the emperor sent him back, he sent with him all of the artifacts and materials and stuff from China. Well, of course, in India they were enthralled, and so that started the route because the silk was what interested them because it took to dyes so well. Bright, brilliant colors.
No, that's a very interesting
So
story.
I think it is. I was dying to be able to tell it.
No, that is wonderful. In fact, we're going to visit a pagoda here in a little while, and it's very interesting. But before we do that, we're going to a show. We're going to listen to some wonderful music. Betty, I really thought that this evening was a very, very special evening, and we're just showing just a little bit, just a portion of some of the wonderful entertainment that we saw that evening, because the show went on for quite some time, and it was so beautiful and so well staged.
Truly beautiful, and I'm not all into some of this stuff, as you already know by listening to me, but this was a fascinating evening, and the women are so beautiful and so graceful, and I think one thing too, Mark, that I'd like our viewers to know, that these are not optional things. When we go on a trip, the sights and the entertainment that we provide is all part of the package. Yes.
That's true. And this was quite a package.
Yes, it was.
This was really wonderful.
Such an assortment, really a variety. Now, and I love the tumbling. I mean, they're so graceful and contortionist, actually.
Well, the Chinese are very well known for Chinese acrobats.
Yes, yes.
In fact, they have a lot of them that tour the world. This guy was something else, too.
Like a harmonica.
And then the next morning, I was shooting this out of the window from the hotel, and they gave some Tai Chi classes out there in the morning, and there were some other tourists there from some other countries who wanted to get their picture taken with a gal who was doing Tai Chi out there. In fact, a lot of our people tried that on this particular trip too, and it was interesting to see. I'd like to learn a little bit more about it.
It's easier than going to the gym.
But now we're going to go to a pagoda, and this one, Betty, you and I had climbed once before, and we're going to do it again this time. But let's listen to John.
Second emperor of the Tang Dynasty. After his mother died, so in order to in memory of his mother, he ordered the construction of this temple. He worshipped twice from his palace to this temple to show his respect. So he shows to show his respect to his mother. And in Tang Dynasty, the Buddhism became the nationwide religion in China. So everywhere in China we built the temples for the Buddhists. Go there to pray. And also at that time, a lot of Chinese monks, they went to India to study Buddhism. And there was a very famous monk whose name was Xuanzang. When he was 17 years old, he went to India to study Buddhism. And he stayed in India for more than 17 years. And when he came back from India, he brought back a lot of scriptures and statues back to Xi'an. And he was the first, the master of this temple. So in the year 652 AD, he suggested the emperor to build the pagoda for him, so he could restore the statues and books he had brought back from India. So at the same year, this pagoda was finished, but originally it was only five levels. So later on, it was damaged. So in the year 701 to 707, still in Tang Dynasty, people they rebuilt this pagoda, as we see now. The 7 levels, total height about 64 meters. So before 1980, since we had the limits about the modern buildings in Xi'an, so this pagoda had been the tallest one in Xi'an for more than 1,200 years. So actually the pagoda in Tang Dynasty, it was used as the library for the monks. So on each level, there are many books and statues over there. So when the monks, when they want to look up some materials, they go to the temple, they go to the pagoda and get some book and check whatever they want. So actually the pagoda over here, this is the library for the Buddhists, for the Buddhist monks. And this monk, who built this temple, who built this pagoda, he stayed in this temple for more than 13 years. And he did a lot of translation work from Indian to Chinese. So actually he made a very big contribution to the Buddhism development in China.
Betty, this complex has gotten bigger since we were there about 12 years ago.
Every place we went has gotten bigger.
Yeah,
yes.
We've gotten bigger too.
Now, that's not a very flattering picture of me, and I resent you putting that in there, Marv. I expected better things from you.
Well, you just have to pose a little
My
better.
figure
That's all.
doesn't really look like that, you know.
None of us take good pictures, so that's it. Anyway, we're going to continue on here because this is very important place in Xi'an. The pagoda that
Which one are you talking about?
I kept saying it was a wild goose pagoda, but
It's Big Goose.
Big Goose pagoda.
Big Goose.
This is the main worship hall. Actually, in Chinese temples, all the temples they have three statues inside, and all those three statues they were built just for one person, whose name was the when they start the new business, and before they have the marriage, so they just kneel down in front of the middle one and tell Buddha what he is going to do in the future, and ask Buddha can guarantee him finish something successfully. So this is why most people they just kneel down in front of the middle one, because they always pray good fortune, good luck. And the right ones, actually we have another name for the red Buddha. We call it medicine Buddha. It's doctor. He is a doctor. So still right now when people are sick in the countryside, so some farmers they go to see the doctor, and meanwhile they go to the temple to worship in front of the medicine Buddha. And after the ceremony, they burn the kind of sacrificial money. It's not a real money. It's a kind of a paper. So they grab the ash, and they put the ash in special water. It's just the common water. It's not very special, and they drink it. And they think this is medicine from Buddha. So actually before that, you can see people, they light some candles and they bring some incense outside. This is the first way, this is the first step when people worship in the Buddhist temple. According to the Buddhism, the Buddha in heaven and the people on earth. So after people die, the soul, if you keep doing good stuff, his soul would be guided by somebody to the heaven. So you need to light some candles to light up your way to the heaven. And also the incense, the smoke goes up sky with your wish to Buddha. Go closer to Buddha. So this is why most of the people, they light up some candles and burn some incense outside before they pray. After that, they go there, kneel down, and pray very hard in front of them.
Well, we're going to take a look inside here. We can see that, as John was saying, that there were three Buddhist statues that were there, and this is one of the ones that was really quite beautiful. It was decorated so nice.
Marva, can I make a little comment here? I see a lot of what Christianity has made use of in the use of the candles and stuff. They pray to their Buddha, we pray to our God, and we do some of the things similar. We light our candles so that our prayers will be wafted up to the heavens and ask God to please grant us our wishes if it's His will.
True, a lot of similarities.
Yes,
Right.
And I think that's wonderful to see that religions all have one motive, really, don't they?
Right. Well, everybody's searching for the truth,
yes,
I think. And we got a little closer to heaven as we climbed up on this to the seventh story over here. And Betty, I have to comment on this. This was the time that we visited this before. This was way out in the sticks. I mean, this was way out in the country. And you look now, and the city is all around this pagoda.
People wouldn't believe it. It was just a field. It was weeds and dirt and
there was
no
an old dirt
roads.
road out there. I mean, and it was something.
Even the trees weren't there.
Except here, they're
always in the temple
The Buddhist
area,
monastery was right there, and this was a huge statue. I'm shooting this from on top of the pagoda, clear over to what we can see, which was clear across the road. But it gives you sort of
It's
a little bit of a
wonderful
bird's eye
shot,
view.
yes,
Yeah,
wonderful.
and they've done so much more in developing. And there are the ones that climb to the top of the pagoda, including the guy with the camera.
Yeah.
But. And and I forgot, you're supposed to throw money off the top of the roof.
And did you?
Of course, not very much.
Well, if I'd have known that, I'd have been down at the bottom waiting to catch it. Shoot. Now
sup-
you tell me.
Yeah, you're supposed to get good luck, I mean, for the money that you throw off of there. And of course, if you get clear to the top, well, then you're going to get really good luck.
Good luck. Like
I
Trevi
hope.
Fountain, you throw the coin in Trevi
That's so
Fountain.
that you'll return.
And you
yeah.
get to come
well,
back.
Maybe it's the same
right.
thing here, too.
It could be. We'll find out. Are we going to go back?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I think China is so interesting, and we keep discovering more and more things, of course, and we're going to listen now a little bit to a street vendor here as he tries to sell us this little clay pipe. And Betty, you just have to watch. This man's wonderful.
Across the top like a bottle.
Don't put it on the edge. Exactly there.
Across the top like a bottle, Mahmood.
Oh, he have.
Oh, I see the fingers. You have to use.
I'll take one for my grandson.
Yeah. 2
If we buy-
for 10 and 5. Just a second.
I would give one. Give four. Give four. Give four.
Come here. Come here. Start your bargain. He asked for 10.
$10?
No, no.
Okay, so divide 8 by 10, that's $2.
For 5 it's okay.
$1.84 for one.
Here's a dollar and
It's for
we can take it cheaper, but poor man.
I wouldn't put them on. That's not good. You have some more?
We felt sorry for him.
Oh, I see. Oh,
You have more there?
that's all right. This one's okay.
Oh, my God, you bargained.
Betty?
That one's all right.
Yeah, I like the yellow one. What's the difference?
This is nice.
Just a different.
Actually, there's a story about the name of the pagoda. When this monk, when he was on the way to the India, one day he was no food left, so he was starving to die. At this moment, he looked up at the sky and said, "The merciful Buddha, please give me some food to have." So at these words, a goose flew over and died in front of him. So he took the goose back and cooked it and ate it. So he thought this must be Buddha's spirit at work, and offered him the goose for food. So when he came back from India, he built this pagoda and he named it the Goose Pagoda in memory of a dead goose. So we call this the Goose Pagoda. Actually in China, in Xi'an, we have 2 pagodas. One built later, much later than this one, and smaller than this one. So we call this one the Big Goose Pagoda. That one is Small Goose Pagoda. During the 1966 to 1976, a lot of temples were damaged and a lot of statues were smashed by people. And also a lot of monks, they were sent to the countryside to do the labor. So at that time, nobody could have any religions, even the privately. At that time, all of the people we tried very hard to show the loyalty to the Chairman Mao, to the government. So if we found somebody doing something harmful to the government, we'd like to report to the government. Even your husbands, your wives, at home they said something wrong. The husbands or the wives would report to the government. So at that time, even at home, nobody could have any religions. Right now, after 1979, we have freedom to believe in any religions. But I don't know why. Maybe most of us are very busy making money, so nobody has time to have any religions.